Imagine waking up each morning not to an alarm clock, but to the sound of birds outside your window. No rushing through breakfast. No frantic commutes. Instead, you're free to enjoy the start of your day at your own pace. Financially secure, stress-free, and living on your own terms. But for most people, life in their 30s feels far from this dream. It's filled with mounting bills, student loan payments, and the constant pressure to keep up. Maybe you're in that place right now, feeling stuck, unsure if you'll ever break free from the grind. What if I told you that achieving financial freedom in your 30s isn't just for the wealthy or the lucky? It's possible for you too. And it doesn't require winning the lottery or living off ramen noodles forever. Today, we'll uncover the secrets to financial freedom that nobody talks about. The real steps, the mindset shifts, and the strategies that can turn your 30s into the best decade of your life. Stick around because this might just be the video that changes your future. Let's talk about why financial freedom matters. For some, it's the freedom to travel, to explore new places without worrying about the next paycheck. For others, it's about having the time to spend with family or the ability to say yes to opportunities without checking their bank account first. But here's the reality. Most of us weren't taught the skills or given the mindset needed to achieve financial independence. We grew up with phrases like, money doesn't grow on trees, or you need to save every penny. Ideas that make us see money as something to fear rather than a tool that can be mastered today. We're going to rewrite that story. This video is not about quick fixes or get-rich-quick schemes. It's about understanding the long-term game, learning from real-life examples, and finding your own path to financial security. So what will we cover? We'll dive into the power of mindset, the hidden strategies of smart investments, building multiple income streams, and the art of saving without giving up what you love. We'll share stories of people who've made it and give you the exact steps they took to get there. If you've ever felt like financial freedom is a distant dream, stick with me. This video will show you how it can be your reality too. The real meaning of financial freedom. Financial freedom doesn't mean you need to have millions in the bank. It means having control over your time, your choices, and your future. It means not having to worry if an unexpected expense comes up, or if you want to take a month off work to focus on yourself. But too often, we think that financial freedom is only for those with high salaries or perfect credit scores. That's a myth. Take Sarah, for example. At 28, she had a regular job making $50,000 a year. She wasn't living extravagantly, but she also wasn't saving much. Then she started learning about financial freedom. Not just the concept, but what it could mean for her life. She realized it wasn't about being rich, but about making smarter decisions with what she had. Over the next 3 years, she built an emergency fund, started a side hustle, and invested small amounts regularly. By the time she was 31, Sarah wasn't a millionaire, but she had enough saved and invested to feel secure. She had options, and that's what financial freedom is all about. You don't need a six-figure salary to start your journey. You just need to understand the principles of building wealth and be willing to take consistent action mindset, the foundation of financial success. So let's talk about the most important part of this journey, your mindset. You see, most people think that achieving financial freedom is just about numbers. But the truth is, the way you think about money shapes how you handle it. Let's take Tom's story. Tom grew up believing that money was always going to be a struggle. He saw his parents constantly stressed about bills, so he assumed that was just part of life. When he started working, he spent most of his paycheck because he thought, why bother saving? I'll never have enough anyway. But at 29, Tom met a mentor who changed everything. The mentor taught him to see money as a tool, not something to fear, but something he could control. Tom started writing down positive affirmations every day like, I attract opportunities for financial growth. He visualized his life 5 years down the line, debt-free with a thriving side hustle. Within a year, Tom went from struggling to save to investing consistently and building a side income through freelance work. The biggest shift wasn't in his bank account, it was in his mind. The truth is, if you don't change the way you think about money, no amount of financial advice will make a difference. So ask yourself, what's my money story? And more importantly, is it helping me or holding me back? The power of compound interest and early investments. You've probably heard of compound interest before, but do you really understand how powerful it is? Let's break it down with a story. Meet Alex and Ben. Alex started investing just $200 a month at age 25. Ben, on the other hand, waited until he was 35. Both invested until they turned 45. But here's where it gets interesting. By the time they were 45, Alex had nearly double the amount Ben had, even though he invested the same monthly amount. That's the power of compound interest. It's not about how much you invest, it's about when you start. Even small amounts can grow significantly over time if you give them the chance. So don't wait for the perfect time to invest. Start today, even if it's just $50 a month. Building multiple income streams. Now let's talk about one of the most crucial steps to achieving financial freedom. Building multiple income streams. Relying solely on a paycheck is risky. And we learned that lesson the hard way during the 2020 pandemic. Let's look at 3 stories of people who diversified their income and built a safety net. Real estate rentals. Sarah and Mike, a couple from Texas, bought a small duplex with their savings. They lived in one half and rented out the other. That rental income covered most of their mortgage, allowing them to save and eventually buy another property. Today they have 3 rental properties, generating enough income to make them financially secure. Freelancing success. Meet Jessica, a graphic designer. She started taking small freelance projects on Upwork, earning an extra $500 a month. Within a year, her client base grew, and she was able to transition into freelancing full-time, earning more than she did in her previous job. Digital products. Then there's Mark, who turned his passion for organizing into a digital ebook. He sold it on his website and through social media. It took time to build an audience, but today, that ebook generates passive income every month, even while he sleeps. The key isn't to overwork yourself, but to find what you're good at and turn it into an opportunity. Think about it. What could you do with an extra $500 or $1,000 a month? The art of smart saving, cutting costs without sacrificing. Joy. Saving money doesn't have to feel like deprivation. It's about making mindful choices. Let's reimagine budgeting. Here's a simple rule. 50% for needs, 30% for wants, and 20% for savings. But here's the twist. Prioritize spending on things that bring you true joy and cut out what doesn't. Think of it as value-based spending. Let's hear the story of Emily. Emily's story. Emily loved her daily coffee shop run and her Friday night takeout. But when she started tracking her expenses, she realized she was spending over $300 a month on things she barely remembered enjoying. So she made a deal with herself. Brew coffee at home during the week and save those takeout splurges for her favorite local restaurant on Fridays. This small change saved her nearly $200 a month, which she started investing in a high-interest savings account. That's $2,400 a year. A simple shift that didn't make her feel like she was missing out, but actually helped her prioritize what she truly enjoyed. This isn't about cutting out everything you love. It's about being intentional. If you're spending $100 a month on something that doesn't bring you happiness, think about redirecting it toward your future goals. It's a mindset shift from "I can't afford this" to "How can I make this work for my goals?" Overcoming debt, the step-by-step guide to financial freedom. Debt can feel like a huge weight on your shoulders, but it doesn't have to control your life. Let's talk about how to tackle it head-on with a plan. There are 2 popular methods for paying off debt, the snowball method and the avalanche method. Here's a story of someone who used each. The snowball method. Meet Jake. He had 6 different debts ranging from credit cards to medical bills. He used the snowball method, where you focus on paying off the smallest debt first while making minimum payments on the rest. Every time he paid off a debt, he felt a surge of motivation. Like crossing a goal off a list, within 2 years, Jake was debt-free. The avalanche method. Then there's Lisa, who had a high-interest credit card debt that was draining her finances. She used the avalanche method, targeting the highest interest debt first to save on interest payments. It was slower in the beginning, but by the end of 3 years, she saved hundreds of dollars in interest. Choose the method that fits your style. The snowball method is great for motivation, while the avalanche method saves you more money in the long run. But whatever you choose, make it a non-negotiable part of your plan. Investing for beginners. Where to start? Let's talk about investing, not the complicated, confusing kind, but the simple steps that can set you up for success. If you're new to investing, start with what's easy to understand. Index funds. These are like a sampler platter at a restaurant, giving you a little piece of the entire stock market. It's low risk, low cost, and historically they've provided solid returns over time. Story of Samantha. Samantha started investing at 30. She was intimidated by the idea of picking stocks, so she went with an index fund through her 401k. She contributed just $200 a month, and by the time she turned 40, her investments had grown significantly, enough to cover a down payment on her first home. Here's the thing about investing. It's less about timing the market and more about time in the market. The earlier you start, the more time your money has to grow. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Start small, stay consistent, and let your money work for you over time. The importance of a financial mentor and community success doesn't happen in isolation. It's easier to reach your financial goals when you have the right guidance and a community to support you. Take Ryan's story. At 32, he felt like he was just treading water. No savings, struggling to invest. But then he met a mentor at a local networking event. Someone who had already reached financial independence. That mentor taught him about budgeting effectively, investing smarter, and even introduced him to real estate opportunities. In just 3 years, Ryan's net worth doubled. If you don't have access to a mentor, don't worry. There are online communities like Reddit's are, personal finance or local meetups where you can connect with like-minded people, find a group that will keep you accountable and challenge you to grow. The journey is easier when you're not walking it alone. Staying the course. Motivation for the long run. Achieving financial freedom takes time, and there will be moments when you want to give up. But remember, your future self will thank you for the sacrifices you make today. Story of Chris. Chris was a single dad working 2 jobs just to make ends meet. He started his journey toward financial freedom by setting small, achievable goals, saving $1,000, then paying off a small debt, and eventually investing in a low-cost index fund. 5 years later, he's not only debt-free but has built a nest egg for his daughter's future. It wasn't easy, but it was worth it. If you feel overwhelmed, just focus on the next step, not the entire staircase. Whether it's making that first investment, starting a side hustle, or simply changing the way you think about money, remember that every small step gets you closer to your dream life. Your journey to financial freedom starts today. We've covered a lot today. How to change your mindset, start investing, pay off debt, and build new streams of income. But the most important thing to remember is that financial freedom isn't just about the money. It's about choices. It's about having the option to take a break, to explore, to spend time with the people who matter most. Remember the stories you heard today. Sarah, Tom, Jessica, and Chris. They started just like you, with doubts, challenges, and fears. But they didn't let those fears stop them, and neither should you. So, what's your first step? Maybe it's opening a savings account, setting a budget, or looking for a side hustle that excites you. Whatever it is, start today. Your future self is already cheering you on. In the end, financial freedom is not about having a lot of money. It's about having a lot of options. Let's make your 30s the decade where you write your own financial story. Thank you for watching, and remember, your journey to financial freedom starts with a single step. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Let's all grow together.